It's the morning of September 18. Here's an update as to where we are on the entry project. Earlier this week, our concrete guys got started again, and even though this, you can just barely see right through here that we have 90 feet of wall that's going to go in. Let me pull across to the back, a little easier to see, and they didn't do any excavating there, but the wall that's right, the hole that's right here, that's another 30 feet of retaining wall. It's going to go in, and it's going to match the wall that's up here. Then after we're done pouring this on next Wednesday, we'll get in with an excavator and we'll cut the line that's right here on the property line, and we'll cut out this line. This has got a curve in it. You can't really see that right now, but we'll cut this line out, and that'll actually be a stone-faced wall, so we can put some signage on it. So this gives us an idea of what this wall looks like from this angle. A nice clean curve. We're gonna have a pretty good sized pilaster right here, a column, and it'll be a little girthier than all the other columns we have. It will be holding a gate, and it should be a little taller than the post that we have here. I'm thinking 6 feet above ground, and we can take a look at that in a minute. Let's see, we are currently on our 10th box. That is good dirt. And let me walk around this way. We can now see the other 60-foot wall that we've excavated and formed up. The rebar is an approximate height of how high the wall is going to be. The piece of PVC that's in the bottom, I use to define what the curve needs to look like. And then we put the rebar, the vertical rebar, right next to it. So when I pull the piece of PVC out, we have the shape of the wall that we want. And then I will set the height of what the grade beam, the concrete part that we're going to be pouring in will be. So looking from the back, let me back up a little bit. We can look in the hole here, and we have a fair amount of steel in place. This is all number 5, 60 grade. Each one of our verticals, each one of the verticals is 32 inches apart. And at this point here, we're going to need to step down a little bit, because this wall has, the earth has quite a bit of a hump in it. It falls off quickly down here. It's pretty level straight through here, and then it falls off again on the opposite side. So I've done a pretty good job of excavating down, 6 or 8 inches. You can see on the other side how much higher it is. And I may end up, well, depending on if my neighbor would like me to, I can take that out so it looks more level on his side. So this is starting to look a little bit on the big side. We're going to be ending before the property line, but we're gonna just end at where Adam's fence currently resides. The property line, or the property corner where my property Kingston takes off to the left, it is not right angles, is right back here. But by the time I would get back there with a straight wall, the height of the wall would be prohibitively tall. It would need quite a bit of permitting and some structural work in order to get that part approved. So we put a deepened footing right at the very end. Couldn't get in there with an excavator. There are piers that you can't really see very well anymore. It needs to get vacuumed out on Monday. But we have poured piers in here every 64 inches. And we have set, of course, the steel, our number 5 60 grade pieces of steel run along the length of the wall. The same is true for here. At some point in time, the previous owner must have put in some kind of drain field. This is it's like a round river rock. It's really not intended. Maybe it's sort of good for drainage, but the problem with this kind of material is it doesn't compact well. It would rather slide than try to compact. But here's the shape that we have right now. You can definitely see there's still some kind of uphill, you know, in this direction to the right. It still slopes uphill, but when you look from the other side, it looks relatively level because there are so many different curves and elevations in this property that it's hard to use any kind of reference to give you an idea of what level and flat really are. And once we're finished pouring this wall, excuse me, this foundation, and of course the foundation in the back, and this 90 feet right here, we will excavate, as I said, the curve in the front, this curve right here, and this curve up top. So that's going to be the next phase of getting the foundations poured. That's where we are.